Hi, everybody. Before we start today's episode, I want to take a moment to tell you about something that has become a daily part of my own practice. Young U Organics White Sage Smudge Spray. Now, if you're like me and appreciate the benefits of energy cleansing but want a smoke-free alternative, this spray is perfect for you. It's made with white sage, clary sage, palo santo, rosemary, and lemongrass essential oils. It has added sea salt and blue apatite crystals, and it offers all the powerful cleansing properties and benefits of traditional smudging without the need for burning sage. It's quick, it's easy, it's portable, and it smells really good. Whether you're at home, in the car, or at work, this spray can help you clear out negative energy, reset your space, and create a calm and peaceful environment. I personally love using it all the time, and especially before recording these episodes to create a centered and grounded environment and condition in my body. So if you want to enhance your spiritual practice in a clean and convenient way, check out Young U Organics White Sage Smudge Spray on Amazon, and we will provide a link in the description for you to check this out. All right, let's get started on today's conversation. All right, hello. Here we are today for Evolving the Conversation. I'm Melissa and here with Nick.
Hola.
We're- We are planning on discussing our the last ceremony that we did together, where we both co-facilitated a psilocybin ceremony, co-facilitated for ourselves.
Co-facilitated for ourselves. Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, that's the training, right? I feel like it's good to train together. Iron sharpens iron, and I feel like I don't want to be in a silo either. Like if I'm sitting there and I don't know, thinking something crazy, like I want somebody to call me out on my crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's if you're letting know what you're thinking.
Mm. Yeah, if I'm saying what I'm thinking. Although
Yeah,
usually I have a pretty good parameter for myself.
if you're having crazy thoughts or not.
Yeah, or like I just like to have a constant, is what I'm thinking true? Just ask myself. Or if like I don't know, then well, I don't know. That's equally as good as, anything else.
To not know if it's true or not.
Yeah, because if I have a thought in the mushroom ceremony or any type of plant medicine ceremony and I'm believing that thought, that's sort of where I can get tripped up. Whereas if I don't know, well, then I know that I don't know, and that's okay too. Then I'm not believing it.
Mm, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Nick and I, if you don't know, are training with the Blue Morpho Academy to become plant medicine facilitators. And so the ceremonies are training.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to look back. I wonder how many mushroom ceremonies we've co-facilitated with each other and cannabis.
Mm,
I think it's more than 10.
really? No, I don't think it's that many. Maybe
Maybe
about
not.
10.
Yeah, probably somewhere close to there.
Yeah, I actually hadn't had a mushroom ceremony in quite a while, and I think it was evident for me in my onset. That was
Oh,
like one of the biggest ceremonies, or like the most, I don't know, I shouldn't say biggest. I guess, I don't know how you quantify or qualify it. The strongest.
yeah. What dosage did you have? I forget what you told me.
I was gonna have 1.5, and then before I served myself, I decided to ask what I should have, and it was like 1.25. But then by the time I served it up, it was like a little over that.
Hmm.
I
And
was
so you
okay with
said,
that dose. I don't know what would have happened if it was more. I feel like it
Mm.
was really just an onset, and then after that, I'm not quite sure.
Explain that, unpack that a little bit. You feel like it was onset, and then after that, you're not quite sure. What do you mean by that?
Um, like it wasn't super strong, but the onset was very intense. And then after that, it was a little bit of like, um, I could go with the medicine, or I could, um, maybe not.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I had to almost like concentrate, focus to be in the medicine.
Mm. Interesting. And now, have you had ceremonies like that where you felt something similar before?
I probably, and sometimes I do feel like it's so strong. I'm like, I'm glad I had this dose, but I wonder if maybe I do need more to have like a longer visionary period or long like medicine period or whatever it's called now.
Mm. Yeah. I wonder. I don't really typically do big doses of mushrooms. I'm not like a, I don't do hero doses.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean necessarily a hero dose, but I just mean more than, I don't know, maybe somewhere in like the 2 to 3 range.
Mm.
Usually do like under two.
Yeah, same here. I think the most I've ever done was two. My dosage, I think was like 1.3, something like that. Maybe a little bit more.
What was it like for you? What was your experience like?
Um, Going into okay, so onset, maybe a little bit uncomfortable as it kind of normally is when the brain is getting acclimated to the mushrooms. And then once I got into visionary, it was really beautiful. I remember there's one part where I don't normally get this, where I'm just in the visionary and like I'm not feeling the rest of my body. But there was one point where um, I was invoking different spirits, and I remember seeing an eagle as I was invoking the eagle, but it was in this like light realm where it's really hard to describe. It was like a light realm, and there was an eagle shape, and it was flying, and it was like flying through this like nebulous type of mm, it's like a texture. It's so hard to describe, but there's that, and um, yeah, that's what I remember. And then I remember hearing your voice coming through, and that was quite pleasant. And I was impressed by what you were singing in your
Mm,
Icaros.
thank you. Yeah, I was reflecting on that for myself. And it's happened before where I know I'm, invoking something and singing the Ikro, but when it happened in the last ceremony, I was like, all right, I have to get rid of the story that that I can't communicate with spirit.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you had that realization.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm in the process of shedding it, but I think I could see or I noticed myself even at the end. I was still at the end of the ceremony when we were talking a little bit about what happened. I was kind of like, well, I was still wanted to hold on to the doubt
Mm,
of whether or not I'm capable. But I just know that, right, like what I was, and I don't even know, right, like I don't even think I had the like idea to invoke it. It was like, oh, this is what you're gonna sing right now.
yeah, just being a channeling rod for spirit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what were your intentions going into the ceremony, Nick?
I had them written down, but it was to um, co-create the sanctuary and all of what that entails, and also um, to learn Icaros and to support your intentions.
Yeah, I enjoyed your Icaros. Had to hold it down there for a while.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, I had a new one, or a new. I was working on that term recuperan gichoni. Or is it gui? Those words are tough sometimes, but it just means to recoup, like recoup the body.
Mm.
Recuperan gichoni cuerpo sitoni. Recoup the body, and I'm glad that one came through.
I don't know
I
if I
just,
specifically know which one you're speaking of,
mm,
but I
well,
enjoyed them all.
it's the base form of the word. Well, the base form of the word, is in English it's recoup, in Spanish it's recuperar, and then you have the ending on that, which I'm still learning, but um, but yeah, overall, I feel that the day after the ceremony, I felt really good. I was seeing really intense visions, which they were just like more like inner knowings of like some pretty gnarly things that go on in the world.
Mm.
Like I had this vision um, where it was just an inner knowing, so it wasn't actually visual, but just using the word vision, I'm using it shamanically to encompass like all of what a vision could be. So, but like for me, it was an inner knowing, and it was an inner knowing that I had this realization where um, with yeah, I don't even know if I want to express it, but it was just like gnarly aspects of society and like seeing how they exist. And yeah, I think like those have been like certain challenges for me that like get me down about life. And I think um, well, here it is. There's one part of the ceremony where I was seeing how there are people within the society that will spend like millions and millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars, to just buy like thousands of people. And then we call this human trafficking. And I was seeing like how I really want to do something, even if it's just like donating to, causes to really put an end to all that.
Mm. Yeah, thinking about that kind of stuff can really cause a lot of grief for the state of the way certain things are.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think like how like the style that I work with in ceremony is like I set things up in the beginning, like groundwork, so
Hmm.
that they're there, so that when and if I have, periods of challenges, that the groundwork's already laid and that I know that I'm safe and being able to explore, even if it is, exploring like these darker aspects of humanity, like what the solution is for that. I I didn't really find a solution, but it was more so like just a knowing that yeah, like those things exist and like they exist at a really high level of society too that I wouldn't have normally thought of.
What do you mean by high level?
Like if you think about it, like just in that thought there that there's someone out there spending like an absurd amount of money to just like in a fell swoop buy however many people like uh, I just mean like higher like money aspect of society. Like it's not just like the lowly criminals.
Oh,
Although it
okay.
is the lowly criminals too, but it's not just that. Like there's some serious white collar crime going on out there. And I mean like, I studied these things in college, so I know like my brain was sort of primed to be thinking about all of these different types of mental illnesses that are in society.
Yeah. What came up for me a lot in the ceremony is just about what am I creating? And for me, that's what I found to be one of the solutions. I mean, I think there's usually more than one solution to problems. But what am I going to create in the face of all of that? And that did come up. I saw it was at one point during onset when I definitely was trying to create something else besides the emotional outpouring that I was experiencing, which just felt like really uncontrollable for me. Um, I did see, like, just in consciousness, how it was just overwhelming how much there is. And I was like, you get to decide. And I was really like, I could decide? Like it really all of the, I don't know, power, choice, decision, what I say yes to is really just, it's for me. And that's what I have the control over.
So in the ceremony, you realized really the power of your own decision.
Yeah. And I think for me, I sometimes have the, I don't know if it's fear or it's like a constriction of being like, judged or wrong or bad or someone outside telling me like no. Um, and so I think for myself that's, I have to really kind of like nurture that part of me that's able to say like, oh no, like I invoked all that stuff. I sang that and I recognize what the result was.
Well, the result for me was just heart open. I don't know if I could take this amount of love.
Wow, cool.
But yeah, no, you
Oh,
did
thanks.
very well.
Thank you. Yeah, after the ceremony, I realized, because I've been kind of like reflecting on the decisions that I have, and I'm like, oh, is this stuff like, why did I decide that this is important for me? Like, how did I get to these decisions? And then, but it did reinforce for me that, oh no, this is what I do want to be doing. Luckily, because I committed myself to it, to the training path. And I'm like, oh no, you really have like an ability here, and it is, part of what you're doing, part of what you're probably like have been working towards for quite a while now. And part of what I wanted to, uh, part of my one of my intentions was just to be able to open up more to like what is it that I actually do want? Like what is it that I do desire? Because, in the past, it was more like, all right, this is what is expected of me. So these are the things I'm going to do because like it's what I should be doing or have to be doing versus like, oh no, what do I actually want to be doing? Right? Like what does my spirit want? Um, and so I recognize that like, yeah, I do want to be on this path of training and facilitating ceremonies and recognizing the like I had like this thought of something that I'm like, oh wow, maybe that's possible in the future. Not only the ceremonies, but something else, which is really unusual for me too. I oftentimes have this kind of like, I don't know, inability or lack of willingness, I'm not sure, to like allow myself to envision the future. Like Louis always planning, like we'll do this, we'll do that. And I'll be like, it's too overwhelming for me to think about that. Like I can't. So that was also something really surprising for me that I had this like, oh wow, maybe like that's what you'll be doing, a long time from now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, just direction, seeing what direction that you're deciding that you want to pursue based off of what you truly desire. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And I had like the decision, I'm evolving my consciousness, but I kind of felt like that started to seem like a little impersonal almost and like abstract. I was like, is that
What do you
important?
mean?
I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I just narrowed it down. Like, I'm here to just really develop my spirit and to really like nurture that and to really like let that be like, my embodiment, whatever my spirit is.
Well, that's beautiful, beautiful intentions to, have growth and development in a direction that's ultimately going to be positive for your life.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was experiencing quite the opposite because
Really?
yeah, I mean, I love planning. I love it. And and I think that's why like I play chess so much is because like that part of my brain that just really I don't know, maybe sometimes I overstimulate it. But I was just seeing um how it's important to be able to plan for the future, but it's also important to enjoy the present and
Mm,
just like enjoy the moment now. Like then I was in the mushroom ceremony and I was receiving like just enjoy it, enjoy the feeling, enjoy the body sensations, even though sometimes it's a little difficult. And like yeah, and just enjoy the ceremony. Even though there was times that were really challenging, I felt you were really there to, support my well-being. So I enjoyed that. And then you mentioned something with like true desire, and after this ceremony and integrating it this past week, I had this realization yesterday where lust actually blocks my true desires and being lustful. And it's not just in, sexual ways, but also like I can be lustful, seeking pleasure, just scrolling on YouTube and doom scrolling on like social media. Like that is also a form of lust in the sense where it's like I'm pursuing something that you know is pleasurable maybe in the moment, but is like actually having a negative effect on my health. Like for instance, with doom scrolling on like YouTube shorts or like Instagram short videos, like I'm training my brain to be focused on like 30-second segments, bloop, 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 and just doing like these 30-second segment clips and doing like 100 of them. And like that actually, I was seeing how it affects my brain and my ability to concentrate long term.
okay, so it's not exactly, well, it's the lust that's causing you. Is that what you're saying to do that? But it's
The
the problem is actually the attention.
Yeah, well, yeah, so the lust, what I mean by that is seeking pleasure at the expense of my well-being or someone else's well-being.
Mm,
And so like it yes, there could be like sexuality in that, but I'm not really actually using it in those terms when I'm talking about just like scrolling through YouTube or Facebook videos or whatever kind of thing it is. I mean it in the sense of like, okay, I'm doing this to like distract myself and I'm scrolling through these videos at the expense of my ability to focus in like a longer time span.
mm. Yeah. What is it that you really need during those moments?
Sometimes I just need to do nothing.
Mm,
Like, I just think like in the modern world, like, and I'm just gonna say keep it in an I statement because I don't know about other people, but I think other people probably suffer the same thing where like I just don't even allow myself to be bored. I'll just pick up my phone and watch stupid shit.
Mm.
Whereas maybe my brain just needs to chill out and be bored. I think sometimes it's okay to do nothing.
Yeah, it's really okay to do nothing.
We just sit there and look out the window, listen to the birds.
That's an enjoyable activity.
Yeah. And then I was actually like, I was seeing too how um, my work in the plant medicines to heal my own sexuality was actually like really working in the sense where I think I'm like 5 months without watching any pornography, which is the longest I've ever been since I started like at a really young age. And I notice how that has actually been really helpful, and the plant medicines have been supporting that.
That's great. How are they helping support you?
They're helping support me by saying like, "Good job, you made it this far. Like, you don't have to relapse. Just like keep going." Because I mean, it's really weird. I don't think I would have had this opinion without the plant medicines, but in my opinion anymore, I see pornography as just like a total detriment to the individual and society as a whole.
Mm.
Like I think that it warps and twists what sexuality really is. And well, I mean, going back to like what we were talking about with human trafficking, I mean, I've heard on other podcasts that talk about the dangers of pornography, how, if you scroll on like one of these like, mainstream porn sites for long enough, you're probably going to see someone who's trafficked. And then like actually knowing that was like the thing that made me just like hit the nail in the coffin and just go, okay, done.
Mm.
And then I was seeing like also too, like it's really weird in the sense that like if I'm watching I've heard I've heard this one guy on the internet, Matt Fradd, say it's like having an intimate moment with your laptop or phone or whatever. Right? So it's just like weird and like it's also kind of weird in the sense where like I would just be like getting off watching other people have sex, which is it's just sort of odd. And then it's like it's so normalized in society too. And I don't know, I just feel like it just is like in the shungo of society, it is really affecting the orange color and the brain all at the same time.
Yeah, probably not just the orange, really.
Yeah.
No, I'd imagine it's affecting
Excuse me.
affecting everything.
Yeah. Sorry, I
Well,
need to
good
get
for
a drink
you
of water.
for recognizing all of that inside yourself and taking action to do something different.
Thanks. It's reassuring.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, it was a great ceremony. Even though like most of like what I was just saying was actually like not realizations in the ceremony, they were during the integration time afterwards.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I think that makes sense, right? It's not just like one and done.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote down, I had a reflection in my journal yesterday saying that, you know, um, when I was younger and I would use pornography, really what was I seeking? Like what were my true desires then? I think my true desires really was just to be intimate with someone
Hmm.
rather than, the that's what I was saying, like where the lust actually like detracts from like what my true desires really are.
Yeah. I wonder too, like there's desire and there's also need. It's probably like what did you really need also?
Hmm. Yeah, maybe they're a bit synonymous.
Yeah, I think they could be. But yeah, I feel like the desire is what comes in after your needs are met.
Mm. Hmm.
Yeah, so maybe just like that need for connection. I don't know
Yeah.
though.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I think that's no, that's definitely like a need that exists
Yeah.
for anyone.
I'm trying to think what else about the ceremony. I really felt awful afterwards. I have to say that. Like the whole
I,
day afterwards. I don't love how
mushrooms
I
are hard on
feel.
my body.
Yeah, I don't love how I feel like the day of a mushroom ceremony after
I
like
like,
when all is said and done.
yeah, I like it during it. It feels great during it, but then afterwards, I usually get a headache.
Yeah, I felt like kind of like depleted and not good. But I definitely I know I didn't drink a lot of water during the ceremony, but I definitely drank a lot after.
Mm,
And I ate some food and I had some cacao, but I just yeah, I was like not feeling good.
yeah. Yeah. I think Paul Standemans has like a protocol to go through that I want to try
Mm.
where you you take um lion's mane in a pretty like significant amount. Um, I think beforehand, and it's supposed to help with headaches. Yeah, I get. Do you get headaches? I usually get like neck pain, head pain after. Great in here.
Mm. Sometimes I just usually, well, like a lot of the mushroom ceremonies I used to do were just like so hard that I just wouldn't feel good afterwards because it was like so much, it was just so much discomfort, whether it was like mental or physical or emotional. So then afterwards, it wasn't like a relief, it was just like,
Mm, yeah,
I was like, all
I don't know.
right, I survived.
Yeah, yeah, they certainly are like that, or can be.
That's how I mostly find. I, I don't know. I guess it's not as extreme as it was for me, but it's never usually this like beautiful. I mean, it was certainly a fruitful ceremony. Yeah, and I liked
Yeah,
your Icaros. Um, and I did a lot of purging, which I always think I obviously I needed that, so I'm sure that was a benefit.
yeah, yeah. For me, it's like a 50-50. Some like I'll usually have like uncomfortableness during onset, and then I'll get to like bliss, and then sometimes I'll like have sometimes I don't get the headaches, but afterwards, but then sometimes I do.
Mm.
I wonder what it is. I really would like some kind of protocol or supplements to take to mitigate those headaches.
You go ask ChatGPT.
Yeah, right. Hey, ChatGPT.
When you were saying about you're having an intimate relation, oh, people are having intimate relationship with your computer, it was reminding me of like people having intimate relationships with ChatGPT.
Yeah, right. I mean, oh goodness. Hopefully the world doesn't come to that.
I mean, I heard this teacher the other day talking, like she was going off on how people shouldn't be using it for that. Um, I don't necessarily agree or disagree. I think it could have its place for that, right? Like I hope people have in-person relationships and people that they could connect with and that they could, you know, share with and get kind of like the resourcing they need or the compassion or just the reflection. But sometimes maybe that's not available. And if you could get it from Chat GPT, not that it's like an all or nothing, but maybe it's like a every once in a while. I've certainly asked it some questions before and was like, all right, that's really helpful. And it like helped me put some like stuff I was going through in perspective.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I think it's like you don't want to use it to write your report. You want to use it to help you write your report. You don't want it to take away your creativity. You want it to enhance it.
Yeah.
And it's a great tool to enhance because like there's some things where you'll never um, be able to have that enhancement without it. It's all about how you use it.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I feel like I've done.
I think the same things are like with the plant medicines too. Like what are your intentions going into it? How are you using it?
Yeah. Something that came up for me, I remember, is I have to remember to take better care of this part of myself. It came on during the onset where I get this, I mean, I get confused, which I was trying to remind myself, all right, you just ate mushrooms. That's why you're confused. It makes a lot of sense. Where like your brain is experiencing the effects, but there is this part of me that's just like, I don't want this. This is, I can't get out of it. This is hopeless. I'm helpless.
And so you're working at remembering your own clarity? Is this am I accurately reflecting that?
I mean, I think it's more of like having to take care of that part of me inside that really has felt hopeless and helpless. Um, and I've shared this, I don't know if I've shared it on the podcast, but definitely before, like I have that part that just feels like, oh my God, this is never ending. Like there's just no getting out of this being alive thing. And I think plant medicine really kind of like brings that brings that in me to the surface.
Mm. And so what have you been doing to mm, heal this aspect of what you're going through?
Just making space for that part, as well as I mean, taking care of myself. Like I think the more I take care of that part and the more I take care of like my spirit and just yeah, just letting myself have um like the recognition of the like the I don't know if, like the positive things or like the things that I am creating or have created.
So
Oh,
looking at, sorry, I
oh no, 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 it's okay.
was gonna say, so looking at all of the positive things that you've created and gaining clarity on that.
Yeah, and no, that reminds me actually. I was walking, and this was after the ceremony, not the next, not that day, but it was maybe like the next day. And I was having like this experience of joy at like, wow, what I really have created and the way like I was feeling joy at Louis and James had on Friday had won the Super Bowl championship. And so I was at first it was like, oh, my son, oh, my husband, but I'm like, oh no, like I really like support James and you know, obviously I support him as his mother and like, oh wow, like this is what I've created and oh wow, like I support Louis in all the ways I can and like I'm, like a piece of this and wow, look at like all that we've created. So like finding a lot of joy in that. And that was also one of, that's been, we worked on that a couple of ceremonies and I think we'll continue to work on it, but just really like understanding and recognizing joy and like how it's created and creating more of it. So I think that was a good recognition as well for me, like, oh no, I really am like very nurturing and supportive. I think I do really have this kind of like, I've always kind of like denied it or invalidated it, which like I've talked about um, here just at the beginning of the conversation, I have that tendency to do that for myself. But just like recognizing this, yeah, like this mothering aspect that I have too, that I think is really, I don't know if like strong is the right word, but like really powerful, and to really like own that as well, because I think that will be helpful for, I mean, just everything I do.
Yeah, I love that you said that you're not exiling parts of yourself. And yeah, and you bringing up joy, I that was something now that I remember was a specific intention of yours to
Hmm.
really find the joy, and you found it
Yeah.
in motherhood and being a wife, and wow, what a beautiful thing. And I think the cool thing about shamanism is that it teaches to understand what spirit is, and individual and unique spirits. And joy is an individual and a unique spirit. So it's a spirit that can be invoked and can be, asked to help uh, with what it can help with, and you can embody it. And yeah, and there's so many spirits out there that represent joy. And so that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it felt really exciting when I recognized it.
Oh yeah, that's so great.
Yep. It is. It is. I'm the mother
Yeah,
of
it's
a
like there's the
four-time
balance of
Super Bowl
this.
champion
Hell yeah.
and the
But
wife
then
of a Super
there's
Bowl
the
winning coach.
balance. There's the sanctuary. There's the balance. It was like there was the, you know, uh, and I can say this for both of us. There was like the challenges, right, that we both experienced in the ceremony, and then there was the joy.
Yeah.
Just balanced it out.
Yeah. Bring on that joy.
Bring it all.
I mean, I'll t accept the other stuff, but
Yeah, yeah, I feel that. I think there's definitely preference.
yeah. And I mean, I've been working on that as well, like not having a preference, but just it's okay to have the preference, but also just welcoming whatever is there anyway. But I do think, I mean, especially for myself, and again, probably for many other people, it's easy to focus on the all that negative stuff. Um,
Yeah,
and for me, I think the work is in finding and being able to like cultivate those positive feelings as well. And like, there's place for that.
absolutely. I think it's very easy to get lost in suffering or things that suck. It's really, and then it's easy to then like not know or not being able to focus on anything else, and like not knowing what joy looks like. But then you experience, you're like, oh, okay. Then when I experience joy, I can recognize, okay, that's joy. And then I could decide, okay, more of that,
Hmm.
please. And then,
More.
yeah, maybe I don't want to like have it in like the greedy sense, but in an aspect of like of that sense of balance, life's not going to continue, or I mean, life is not going to be any less challenging. So, I mean, what's going to balance that out? I don't want to just limit it to one thing, but one thing is joy.
Yeah, I mean, I think any kind of feeling or sensation that you could call positive, I think we have to work at cultivating those because the other ones come kind of easy.
They're just so blaring. They're just, they're just so like, I don't know how to describe it other than just a noise. Yeah. Um, Thank you, mushrooms, for highlighting joy.
Yes, thank you. Have anything
Yes.
else you'd like to add?
Mm, I don't think so.
Yeah, so this is a good reflection because I recognize that a lot of my intentions were, I mean, I feel like premature to say fulfilled, but, or realized, but they really were.
I mean, cultivate joy is a lifelong intention for me.
Yeah, but to like experience it and to recognize it and to feel it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm definitely like learning more about that. And then like always working on the communication, which I feel like I turned a corner because I can no longer say that that I don't know how to communicate with the spirits.
Mm, hmm. Yeah, the doubt just dissolves in the knowing.
I was just laughing at myself trying to like hang on to it. I need that doubt. Who would I be without it? Who would I be without it? Watch out, world.
Yeah, watch out, world.
Hmm.
Melissa and Clarity. Well, I think you being in Clarity is a net positive for the world.
Yes,
I think
definitely.
anyone, really.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, I'm glad though that you had a positive outcome.
Yeah, same for you. It was, like I said, fruitful.
It was.
And I'm looking forward to the next one. Maybe I'll take more mushrooms.
Yeah, I don't know about that for me, but I'll
I
support
think
you in
I'm
that.
going to. Well, that's what my head's telling me, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening to our musings from our previous mushroom ceremony. And if you like this conversation, give us a like, give us that thumbs up. If you have experience with these types of things, leave us a comment with anything you want to comment, and we shall catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.